The Hadiza Ibrahim Aliyu Schools Festival, HIASFEST, was born out of the need to bring children together in order to restore a child's sense of creativity.
Stop all the killing, stop all the fighting, stop all the war. Let us all come together as one to secure and protect the future of the young ones.
For over a decade and a half, the Hilltop Creative Arts Foundation has continued to set new terrain for art to flourish in Nigeria. These giant strides have continued in no small measure to the christening of Minna as the national hub for teen arts in Nigeria. Unarguably, Hilltop Creative Arts Foundation leads in the discovery, development, promotion and mentoring of teen artists in Nigeria. This has led to the birth of several thriving literary and arts festivals over the years. It is not a surprise to see that these festivals have grown to become household names and anthems sung across various schools and homes within and beyond the walls of the state. In the years past, every secondary school child that grew inside the eye of Minna waited anxiously every year to be a part of an annual school carnival of art and festival of songs, for which BM Zukoyi was the first draftsman.
Our primary target is to discover teen authors, mentor them, publish them as individual authors, and make them develop excellence or imbibe the spirit of creative writing and become excellent professionals when they are adults.
HIASFEST, as it was called, was a darling that was literally worshipped. This festival gave a stage to schools and students to amplify their talents in a 3-day event which saw them winning 3 trophies, which was usually returned. As HIASFEST, under the Association of Nigerian Authors, Niger State, died as a result of death of ideas and a propelling force, artists, students, and writers began to clamor for a new birth. The only one stand stop for everyone to turn to was Hilltop Creative Arts Foundation, which continued to grow in the development of art.
Hilltop Creative Arts Foundation is one of the contemporary arts organizations in Nigeria, and it's about the fastest growing arts organization. You know, it could be ranked among the first 5 in the country. It's exclusively about young writers, teen authors, and new Nigerian writers. It was established in 2004. That's over 16 years ago in Hilltop Model School when I was a teacher. And we can boast of about 12 branches in Nigeria, including Osun, Ogun, Taraba, Kano, Kaduna, Benue, Kebbi, Sokoto.
Hilltop Creative Arts Foundation did not go unnoticed as it caught the attention of a philanthropist, Alhaji Abdullahi Kwatu, who wanted a program in memory of Hajia Hadiza Ibrahim Aliyu, the late wife of Malam Ibrahim Aliyu, the Sardaunan Minna. Furthermore, he sought to know what could be done to bring school children together for a contest. This is how HIASFEST was born. The Facebook encounter Zukoyi had with Alhaji Bala Kwatu when he was told about the possibilities of hosting a festival ended with a comprehensive proposal. The sound of a festival seemed huge, but Kwatu would rather see a blueprint for action. From day one, he was ready, unrepentantly.
The social media we see and read today is full of a lot of rubbish. But we cannot ignore participating in social media, because I believe you can always create something good out of the rubbish you see on the social media. The HIASFEST platform has come to stay.
Zukogi, as a curator of several arts events, saw that as a medium to reincarnate what has been lost to frivolities. But this time around, eggheads of Hilltop Creative Arts Foundation were assembled to draft what could be a chart to the smiles of countless artistic children that have been left in limbo for so long. The first step was to decide a name the festival would be called, having been told that the festival will be in honor of Hadiza Ibrahim Aliyu, the late wife of Malam Ibrahim Aliyu, who died loving every child she came across. She was the Chief Executive Officer of Urban Shelter Limited, a group companies known for their expertise in construction, real estate management, group hospitality. As the team gathered and brainstormed, a final name was agreed and the festival was to be called HIASFEST, an acronym for Hadiza Ibrahim Aliyu Schools Festival.
Hadiza Ibrahim Aliyu came about as a result of a request by Bala, Abdullahi, Kwatu. And from the onset, he made it clear that he wanted a program that would be named after the late wife of Malam Ibrahim Aliyu, the Sadona, who is the chairman of Urban Shelter Nigeria Limited. You know, she died about 3 years ago, and he wanted to immortalize her name. So Hadiza Ibrahim Aliyu Schools Festival, HIASFEST, is simply the name.
The school festival, which would see school students contesting through 10 categories of events, with all of the categories having their individual trophies of first, second, and third position for grab, would also have the overall winning trophies of same positions. In total, HIASFEST would have 35 trophies to be contested for. There are other special awards and national literary prizes in HIASFEST.
So HIASFEST is compartmentalized into categories, you know, into events, running to 10 types of events. On the sport writings, you have poetry writing, short story writing, you have a non-fiction writing, and then you also have a category for song, you have a category for cultural dance, you have a category for quiz, you have a category for painting, you have a category for spoken word, you have a category for craft, and you have a category for drama. These are the primary categories in HIASFEST, which is basically categories for contests among secondary school students. But there are other aspects of HIASFEST that also carry prizes. You know, these categories, each category has independent trophies to be won. Under each category, say on the sport poetry writing, you have 3 trophies. So all the 10 categories have three trophies to, you know, to be awarded to first, second, third positions. Then you have special awards, which are also for both, you know, the teen authors or the secondary school artists who are participating in the festival, and then some other ones for people who are not necessarily, you know, students. They are literary prizes. Some of these special awards is, for example, a male contestant. The best male contestant will be picked. The best female contestant would be picked. All of them, these two will have 100,000 naira. In fact, that of male is picked from the winner of the craft, because craft is largely invention, innovations, and constructions. So you win there, you become the best in male, and then you pick 100,000 naira. The female pick 100,000. There are other prizes too. Even the teachers, male teacher, the best male teacher, you have a plaque for him, and the best female teacher in charge also has a plaque. But you have other literary prizes. For example, the Nigeria Prize for Teen Authors. Nigeria Prize for Teen Authors is for poetry, one aspect, and then for story or novella or fiction, another aspect. Poetry carries 300,000 naira. The fiction carries 300,000 naira to be shared, among three first winners for both sides. For example, the first prize under poetry is 150, second is 100, third is 50, and the same thing for fiction. And then you have the Nigeria Prize for indigenous languages in both creative writing and in science. And this year we chose mathematics. So, the languages are the Yoruba, the Igbo, the Hausa, the Nupe, and the Gbagi. So for these 5 languages, you have prizes for creative writing. Each is 100,000 naira. And then in the same languages, you have, prize for science, mathematics book. For anybody that has written mathematics book or has translated mathematics books. And for Yoruba, it's 150,000 naira, Igbo 150,000 naira, Hausa 150,000 naira. For Nupe, it is 100,000 naira, Gbagi is 100,000 naira. So these are some of the special packages that we have for HIASFEST, and you hardly can find any arts organization in Nigeria that has this special package.
Kwatu has approved the festival and has even added a tuition scholarship for science and arts undergraduate students with the grade point average of 3.5 and above, which would be in the sum of 100,000 naira each.
You have scholarship for art and you have scholarship for science. Scholarship for art is basically for students in the university, and the other one too is for students in the university. You have to have a manuscript to be able to win that of art, and that's also 100,000. Those are also 100,000 naira.
This singular gesture has in itself propelled HIASFEST to be a festival everyone would keenly want to be a part of.
We are not just looking for a festival. We are looking for a brand from Niger State to the world. We want to attract the world to Niger State.
As the team reconvened to debate the face of the new festival about to be unleashed, several issues formed the crust of what needed to be addressed so as not to fall short when the festival begins properly.
As with every occasion or a competition that you are preparing for, letters were written and sent to schools. The trophies were bought. The venues were paid for. And then we started with adverts. We printed flyers. We printed media adverts, all in a bid to spread the message that the competition was going to take place.
The major undoing of a society like ours today is the absence of trust. For a country like Nigeria, where people are quick to take advantage of one another, Kwatu's belief and trust was a major fuel to the story of what we are witnessing today. Registration team arrived the venue on the festival day as early as 6:30 in the morning to await the arrival of schools. At 10 o'clock a.m., 20 schools within and outside Mina had registered and settled down in the hall.
It was the first edition, and as with every competition that is the first, It was, we were a bit apprehensive. The sponsor had to come and see for himself what is happening. And as with every occasion, you see certain things spring up that you don't anticipate. You know, I remember I was in the hall very early in the morning, and I think my assistant coordinator came and said, "Sir, are you sure these schools are going to come?" I said, "Abel, don't worry, they will come." At that time, the founder of Hilltop Creative Arts Foundation kept calling. He kept calling. "Mr. Makama, what's happening? Mr. Makama, what's happening?" So you can imagine what was happening. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and then one school arrived. Abel came and said, "Sir, one school has arrived." I said, "Many will come." At the end of the day, we had close to 17 schools that came for the competition. And that was the beginning. The challenges were there, and the sponsor, may Allah bless that man, he was there to nib every little issue that was raised. You know, "Mr. Makama, is there any problem?" So, "Okay, let me see what I can do to take care of it." That was it. He gingered us, he helped us, and here we are today.
The first HIASFEST has just been set alive at the Idris Lebo International Conference Center with different guests from various sectors in attendance as the opening ceremony started.
We needed a venue that is quite big, quite beautiful, and all accommodating, and that is Justice Idris Lebo Kutigi International Conference Center. It's the biggest in Niger State, so it became automatically the place for this kind of a vision that we have for this festival.
In attendance for the first HIASFEST were the late Hadiza's family, who couldn't hold their excitement of what Kwatu had just started to immortalize their mother. It was indeed an emotional moment for them.
For me, it's very humbling when I see the number of people that actually come for such an event, and it makes me think about the reason why this event came about in the first place. And honestly, it humbles me. I find it, astonishing, the kind of talent that we see from the teens that come from the HIASFEST. And it makes me grateful that such an event in the memory of somebody that I love so much has been created to provide opportunities for young people out there to showcase their talents. So when you've been privileged to have certain opportunities, not because you've deserved them for any particular reason, but just because you've been lucky enough to have that chance, I think the right thing to do is to also give back to others so they have a chance to make something good out of what they've been given.
I wanted where I could invest in the memory of Hadiza, who passed away some 3 years ago. And I wanted where I could put my money in the name of Sadaqatul Jariyah. That is motive number one. And motive number two, putting money where it will give the most useful impact, which is in the aspect of education.
I pray that our schools will be robust, well-funded, to be able to cope with this major challenge that is before us. I want to encourage all of the students do your absolute best. I want to encourage you to seek knowledge wherever knowledge is to be found. You will not regret it, I assure you. And once again, I hope that with this event and many others like it, we will create a society that we all will be proud of in the future.
The rest of the ceremony, which centered on literature and society, was perfectly delivered by Abubakar Zukogi, Rector, Federal Polytechnic, Bida. At the end of the opening ceremony, guests like Professor Yahya Kuta and the then Commissioner for Education, Niger State, Hajia Fatima Madugu, also added their voice to eulogizing the personality of the late Hadiza Ibrahim Aliyu and the need to have government, individuals, and corporate bodies keying into projects like this.
Hadiza was one person that was very unique, extremely very friendly, welcoming, charming, and indeed, I can't describe what she is by this forum alone.
It's always good to be good. I believe we all listen to what the representative of the Emir of Mina said. It is good to be good so that we can live to be remembered at any given time.
It was midday of the same day when schools were driven to Hilltop Model School, another venue to host students contesting in the on-the-spot writings category of the festival and the only contest of the day, along with the song category. The second and third day saw contestants shuttling between Niger State Book Development Agency, Hilltop Model School, and Legbo Kutigi International Conference Center for other categories.
And be not afraid once undecided, because that is not aspiring for a leadership position, and even if it is, you are already sitting on it, so why be afraid?
The final day was for heroes and heroines to be named. Each school, amidst the tense atmosphere, found their ways into the seat early enough to bury their anxiety before the guests arrived. While the guests made their entry at the hour of 10 a.m., the Sardonna Mina and the chairman of Urban Shelter, who is the late Hadiza's husband, walked in quietly to the ushering hands of the organizers. The atmosphere, no doubt, gave him the feel of the immortality of his wife, which the organizers tried to ignite. All is well that ends well, as captured in an old adage. After every fanfare and drum rolls, the time to award excellence came around. And for the festival that had gathered that much heat, schools like Government Girls Secondary School Old Airport and Government Army Day Secondary School Mina came first and second runner-up respectively, while Himma International College was crowned the winners of the maiden edition of HIASFEST in 2019. The cash sum of 100,000 naira was given to Khadija Jagaba, the winner of the tuition scholarship for arts, as entry for science wasn't received. As the festival dragged itself to an end, the sponsor said he was impressed with what had unraveled before him and assured the next edition would be much better and bolder one.
My target in the future is to beam Nigeria to the world, where the just concluded election of America, let HIASFEST one day be the noise of the world, where a student will feel left out, will feel incomplete without participating in HIASFEST. This is my objective.
For the second edition of HIASFEST, the spice became higher and the sponsor made the move to award the Nigerian prize for teen authors for poetry and prose, which was in the sum of 250,000 naira, each to be split into 3 for the first, second, and third position in poetry and prose. HIASFEST 2020 was not going to only be a festival of trophies, but also a festival of cash prizes. This is so as the sponsor and children of the late Hadiza felt the need to peg cash rewards to some of the categories of the festival. This included the overall winner, which would leave with the sum of 100,000 naira. Most valuable contestants, male and female, also live with the sum of 100,000 naira each, and the tuition scholarship for science and arts also have 100,000 naira each.
The enthusiasm that started generating a lot of interest, especially among the relations of Ibrahim and Aliyu, especially his children. I remember during the first edition, Mona Farouk gave us a sum of 50,000 naira. And then by the time we came to the second edition, other children, Mariam, Sadia, Farouk, all came with individual prizes. They brought prizes, and then we had prizes like best male, best female, girl child, best teacher, and then the prizes kept increasing. They became so humongous that now we have so many prizes. We have prizes on indigenous languages. All these things I'm talking about is worth millions of naira. We have prizes in indigenous languages. We have the Nigerian prize for teen authors. We have academic awards. 200,000 naira for the best student in WAEC, NECO, and JAMB. We have so many star prizes. We have so many cash prizes. So you can see that the enthusiasm has grown into something big, and we are getting bigger. We are moving, and that is why I wouldn't be wrong, and I'm not wrong, to say that HIASFEST has come to stay, and that is why it is the biggest teen arts festival. I wouldn't say in Nigeria now. I think I'll probably say in Africa.
The second HIASFEST wasn't going to be a playground, as the organizers had made it known at every fora. It was the time to begin the festival that has set the social media ablaze. It is only normal to witness a swell in numbers of schools that attended. Guests came around, and the festival had been open for the second time. The keynote speaker, Adamu Garku of Gombe State, a teenager whose foray into literary circle had come as a shock to everyone. Due to some challenges, he couldn't travel down to Mina for the opening ceremony and had delegated his friend, Yusra Zukogi, to read his address, which focused on creativity for national development.
Education will always be a key determinant to the development of every society. I enjoy you keep up with this pace of directional and futuristic investment. May Allah reward you abundantly.
Every year, opening ceremony will be delivered by a child from the secondary school anywhere in Nigeria. That's the tradition we are creating here now. Yes, you can clap for that.
The core philosophy of the Hilltop Creative Arts Foundation is to have teenagers do the things. It's not just delivering the keynote address by teenagers that is the major element of the art center. You know, first of all, if we select teenagers, for example, last year we selected Garko, who is barely 20 years or 19 years. And this year we have selected Lilo, who is also 19 or so. You know, the issue is to have enterprising young people to come and, teenagers, to come and speak to themselves. Enterprising teenagers who have shown tremendous visibility in arts around the country. You know, it means they are capable of convincing their peers who are in secondary school. That's why we choose teenagers as guest speakers of HIASFEST. The whole program is for teenagers.
Like the norm, schools went through the contest for 4 days in different venues assigned to each, and they waited for the finals.
The future is a light today. Let me hear you sing. Come to make our dreams come true.
Mommy! How the Jews scream for tortures, eating them like crackers, slowly killing their souls without the knife or the gun. Will they ever find a reason to keep breathing despite the fury living inside of them because of that being?
Most compelling life. A round of applause for them. A round of applause for them. A round of applause for them. A round of applause for them.
I'm tired of pity and jealousy thrown at me in an attempt to make me feel beautiful, not a kind of beautiful. I don't want any of the two faces. Compliment on the cause of a pity. Common political orator of academic promises, further members of other corruption. Sweet, the dialogue and all time Johnny was sleep, and we asked, I will let down, and I ripped in iron cage. I sat and each cushion ran to my mind. It will save us from this agony. And the pride of their dreams, they have been the pride of their love, of their freedom to live like normal people. Increasing crime rates, interacting hostilities, corrupt practices of government officials, called patrols, ours called us to obey. Drowning in the pool of insecurity, sinking in the ocean of insurgency, kidnapping and armed banditry.
It isn't called the finals for flimsy forays. It was the first finals to witness magnitude of guests that came around, which included the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Zubairu Dada, the Sardauna Mina, and the Chairman Urban Shelter, Malam Ibrahim Aliyu, the Chief Press Secretary to the State Government, Mrs. Mary Noah Barji, the representative of Blueprint Newspaper, national executives of the Association of Nigerian Authors, and a host of others. At the award ceremony, Golden Awards were given for the first time to the patrons of teen authors, which were Barrister Ahmed Maiwada and Engineer Yahya D. Daudu. At the ceremony, the founder of Hilltop Creative Arts Foundation, B.M. Zukogi, exposed the need to give children a voice, as they'll be the ones to speak when the elders are away. He also addressed the need to have the first northern residency, which he said would not only project the North to the world, but further cement their position amongst men and women of letters.
View of the Hilltop Creative Arts Foundation is about teenagers and young people. Our Nigeria Review, our literature voices are all manned by young people who are just, 20, 21, 22. You understand? Even some majority of the state branches are manned by young people. I know Kaduna is a young person that is manning that one. Even Ogunsev, the boy is 16 years. Sunday Said is 16 years. You have Isaiah in Oshun. Isaiah is 17 years old, and they are the chairmen of those branches. So our business here is to focus on young people, teenagers, young people, mentor them in various forms of arts, and then asking them to strive for excellence. You know, when you do this, you know, by say 10 years later, after they had started, those you will be getting are excellent craftsmen and women. In fact, we publish our members as teenagers. So here, you find out that a 9-year-old child has already published.
There are other judges for quiz, they will take their own later, right? That's Mariam, Abdullahi, Miracle, and the rest.
Please, participants for unity songs are expected to be outside.
Unity songs, later.
Unity songs outside. On my right, Bill.
A round of applause for him, please.
Congratulations. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations.
Yes,
That's right.
thank you.
Mr. Sibati,
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Of the well-behaved school for HIASFEST 2020.
Quiet characters.
Congratulations.
While he's still in SS3 in Gombe High School. A powerful speaker around the country. He has delivered his speeches for taking care of us.
Please, students, shall we rise and give them a round of applause? Please, students,
A round of applause.
While all these awards were rolled out, schools and students held their heart in their mouth as the stage was set to announce the winners of the second edition of Hadiza Ibrahim Aliyu Schools Festival. The results were gathered and tallied together, and for the second time in a row, Himma International College was crowned the winners, while Government Girls Secondary School Mina and Amidi Secondary School Mina came first and second runner-up, respectively.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Congratulations.
And as everyone cheered and jumped around in excitement, Kwatu, in his emotional self, was questioned if he feels fulfilled by what he's witnessed so far. He said, "Ask me this question in 10 years from now, my answer would be affirmative." Earl Nightingale once said in one of his quotes that the more intensely we feel about an idea or a goal, the more assuredly the idea, buried deep in our subconscious, will direct us along the path to its fulfillment. Sometimes we need the push and the right people to bring our dreams alive. This is what Alhaji Kwatu has seen before him for trusting souls he hardly ever interacted with. Here, an individual's act of generosity is bringing smiles to countless children who were once tapped of a stage to amplify their talents. Now, HIASFEST is here to give children and art lovers a reason to look forward to another 365 days. And another 365 days has come around. The third edition of HIASFEST is due in few weeks' time. It has come with a bigger and bolder size. Many prizes have been added in languages of Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Nupe, and Gbagi, worth 100,000 naira each. The teen authors' prizes have been increased to 300,000 naira each for poetry and prose. Similarly, the best students in NECO, WAEC, and JAMB will receive 200,000 naira each at the third edition. That's not all. To encourage nationwide participation, the first 3 schools that arrive HIASFEST from each geopolitical zones get 200,000 naira each as bonus, while public schools in the states have their bonuses too. HIASFEST needs only a few more years to become a continental festival for Africa. This comes as a result of the latest entry into the sponsorship by the Aliyu Trust Foundation. In just 3 editions, HIASFEST has become the largest teen arts festival in Nigeria. All courtesy of one man's idea, Alhaji Bala Abdullahi Kwatu.